Pagod ka na ba sa pangakong napapako?
Kaya sa huling 3 taon ng administrasyon, ibubuhos pa natin ang lahat-lahat. Hindi lamang upang mapantayan, kundi mahigitan pa ang pagbibigay ginhawa sa ating mga kababayan.
New normal na ba ang bahang hanggang sapong?
Masigasig din ang ating paghahanda at pagmamatyag laban sa banta ng sakuna at kalamidad, lalo na sa bagong normal at nagbabagong klima na nagbubugso na panahon.
Si Cheese Pimiento, Pangulo na naman ng Senado.
I, Francis Cheese G. Escudero, having been elected to the position of Senate President, do hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge, to the best of my ability, the duties of my present position and of all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines, that I will obey the laws, so help me God.
So for me, ako nga pala si Vor Joseph and welcome to News Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 114. We have filmed covered since last week, so skip the time spotted if it piques your interest. Sona ni BBM, walang laman.
Huwag na po tayo magkunwari. Alam naman ng buong madla na nagkakaraket sa mga proyekto. Mga kickback, mga initiative, errata, SOP, for the boys. Kaya sa mga nakikipagsabwatan upang kunin ang pondo ng bayan at nakawin ang kinabukasan ng ating mga mamamayan, mahiya naman kayo sa inyong kapwa Pilipino.
Bakit ako mahihiya sa iyo, Mr. New Normal, ang mga abot sapong na baha, pati na yung pag-iipon daw ng tubig galing sa baha? I mean, that might be okay, pero I don't care because that sounds out of touch.
Bukod dun, paano natin, wag natin naman sana tinatapon yung tubig dahil kailangan na natin yung tubig na yan. So, gumagawa rin kami ng paraan para maipon ang tubig. Naghahanap ngayon kami ng mga lugar sa labas ng Maynila kung saan pwedeng maglagay ng mga malaking large impounding na areas para doon natin kukontrolin, hindi napapasok dito sa Maynila.
Ikaw, anong grade ang ibibigay mo kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos so far in his midterm presidency?
Siguro yung sa akin, incomplete. At dahil napakaraming mga hinahanap tayong mga solusyon sa mga, lalo na't mga pagtingin na hindi naman niya naibigay. Kunwari, sa pagharap ng mga sakuna at delubyo, we digress doon sa sinasabing new normal na ito. At ang mga iba't ibang mga hinighlight na points ay ang pagdadagdag sa resiliency. Beyond resiliency, nasa tingin namin na kailangan may long-term solutions tungkol sa paglala ng climate change. Paano bababudgetan yung napakaraming promises on education and on health, no, na actually matagal na nating pinapanawagan.
I agree, Mr. and Miss Comunista. That's why y'all are in the House and he's in the presidency. Kasi, naging katandem niya, si Sara.
Late October, after deadline ng filing, tumawag sa akin si Senator Amy Marcos. Sabi niya sa akin, pwede ka ba tumakbong Vice President? Sabi ko sa kanya, alam mo, hindi ko pa narinig ever na sinabi sa akin na tumakbo akong Vice President. Sabi ko, bakit mo ako nire-request ngayon na tumakbong Vice President? And I'm happy that she was honest enough to say, kasi matatalo kami ni Lenny kung hindi mo dalahin ang Bisaya. It was very straightforward.
Pero, para kasi sa akin, yung SONA niya, incomplete siya. No mention of online gambling, across the board wage hike, at marami pang iba. So, what happened ba sa SONA? Nagkaroon ba ng laman? May laman ba? Well, una, inamin niya na the election proved na hindi natutuwa ang tao sa kanyang administrasyon, with many of his high-profile candidates losing the midterm senatorial elections. Tulad nila Nan Abibinay, Benhur Avalos, and even the greatest of all time, Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
Malinaw sa akin ang mensahe ng naging resulta ng halalan. Bigo at dismayado ang mga tao sa pamahalaan, lalo na sa mga pangunahing serbisyo. Ang leksyon sa atin ay simple lamang. Kailangan pa natin mas lalong galingan. Kailangan pa natin mas lalong bilisan. Kung datos lang ang pag-uusapan, maganda ang ating ekonomiya, tumaas ang kumpiyansa ng mga negosyante. Bumaba ang inflation, dumami ang trabaho. Ngunit ang lahat ito ay palamuti lamang, walang saysay, kung ang ating kababayan naman ay hirap pa rin at nabibigatan sa kanilang buhay.
Tinawag ni Marcos ang atensyon ng mga water concessionaires who negatively affects millions of Filipinos sa kanilang palpak na serbisyo, a jab on the Villar's prime water businesses. Kasi again, marami at daan-libo hanggang sa ilang milyon ang taong subscriber ng Prime Water solely because wala silang alternatives.
Ganun pa man, marami kaming natatanggap na reklamo na hindi man lang daw umaabot ang tubig sa kanilang mga gripo. Sa lawak ng reklamo, lampas 6 na milyong consumer sa buong bansa ang kasalukuyang naapektuhan.
Nagpatama rin siya kay Baste Duterte when he mentioned PNP Chief General Torre sa kanyang pagiging undefeated champion among the greats. Which is funny kasi, like Baste, he's not really one to accept a challenge. Hindi nga siya umaattend ng debates. At least, kay Baste, makikita na, meron siyang approved na pag-alis at pagpunta sa Singapore.
Sumut-sunod sila sa yapak ng ating mga kampyon at world-class na athlete tulad ni Senator Manny Pacquiao, ni Heidelin Diaz, ni Caloy Yulo, Ira Villegas, Nesty Petesio, EJ Obiena, Alex Ayala, ang Paralympian natin na sina Gerald Mangliwan, Sandy Asusano, Angel May Otom, at Ernie Gawilan. Sama na rin natin yung bago nating kampyon, si PNP Chief Nick Torran.
Nagpasaring rin siya sa mga palyadong flood control projects, promising to audit every single one made and even are ongoing or even yung mga hindi pa natatapos or hindi na tinapos. Kung ano yung kalagayan nila, natapos ba at magkano ang overruns. Ipopublish din raw nila ang mga report na ito for the people to see.
Mahiya naman kayo sa mga kabahayan nating naanod o nalubog sa mga pagbaha. Mahiya naman kayo lalo sa mga anak natin na magmamana sa mga utang na ginawa ninyo nang binulsan nyo lang ang pera. So that this will not happen again, first, the DPWH will immediately submit to me a list of all flood control projects from every region that were started or completed in the last 3 years. The Regional Project Monitoring Committee shall examine that list of projects and give a report on those that have been failures, those that were not finished, and those that are alleged to be ghost projects. We will publish this list. Isa sa publiko natin ang listahang ito. Kaya ang publiko na saksi sa mga proyektong ito ay malayang suriin ang listahan.
I don't know what that will do kasi, again, ang mag-submit daw ng mga listahan ay ang DPWH. DPWH yung nagpagawa nun eh. Of course, they'll clean their cooked books. I don't know what that will actually do. Makakasuhan ba sila ng susunod na ombudsman o kaya naman ng PCGG or any accountability body? Kasi kung wala, edi parang wala rin itong sinasabi niya na pagpapublish ng accountability measure na ating ipinupush for many Filipinos and for the funds that was used para sa either eleksyon, sa kanilang negosasyon, negosyo at sarili. Sinabi niya ring the Philippines is still and always have been a friend to all and enemy to none bilang pagbibigay diin sa neutral na foreign policy ng Pilipinas. Because many criticized the failure para magkaroon ng free trade zone between the Philippines and the United States with the 19% tariff rate na inangkas sa atin ng United States sa ating mga export papuntang US. Kumbaga, again, tataas ang presyo ng mga Filipino-made goods sa US, making it less attractive and therefore less competitive sa ibang mga similar na produkto.
Sa harap ng mga bagong banta sa ating kapayapaan at soberanya, mas maigting ngayon ang ating paghahanda, pagmamatsyag at pagtatanggol sa ating sarili. Ganun pa man, tayo pa rin ang nagtitimpi at nananatiling nagpapasensya, lalo na sa pagtanod sa ating buong kapuluan at sa pangangalaga sa ating interes. Subalit ngayon, mas pataas pa ang ating kumpiyansa dahil mas marami na tayong mga kasangga na magiging kabalikat natin sa oras ng matinding pangangailangan. Then as now, our foreign policy remains the same. The Philippines is a friend to all. The Philippines is an enemy to none. That will be our main focus as we, the Philippines, host the ASEAN Summit in 2026.
Pero at least 1% ang nabawas nila na binigay sa atin ng US while also hosting too much EDCAS. At ito pang tatandaan natin, 0% tariff sa mga kotse, sa mga bus, automotives, basically in general, drugs, wheats, and freaking corns or some shit, I don't know, and medicines. 0% tariff on those, which is actually alright. Pero bakit hindi niya na-negotiate yung 19% or 20% down to 0% para magkaroon tayo ng free and equal trade agreement, di ba? It goes without saying na he got steamrolled. Now, he said some extra stuff about stuff. But as we all know, this SONA has rarely any stuff noteworthy compared to last year's SONA, kung saan binanya live ang pogos sa buong Pilipinas, which earned him a round of applause. Marami rin sa mga senador ang hindi nagpunta sa ating SONA, sa kanilang SONA. Marami ring senador ang hindi nagpunta sa SONA.
Sa akin, tama na yung magagarang damit at fashion show, tama na yung mahaba at pagarbong mga seremonya, tama na yung mga motherhood statements at ang walang katapusang mga datos na hindi naman nararamdaman sa ibaba. Gawa na lang tayo ng to-do list, ng lista ng gagawin sa mga susunod na taon. Simpleng-simple lamang ang pagkain. Ito nga ang flood control na trilyon na ang nawawala at nalunod sa baha. At ang kalusugan at edukasyon ng kada Pilipino. Gawa na lang tayo ng homework list. Yun na lang tayo. Sana ganun na lang kasi.
Ayaw ko magipagplastikan. Alangan man pupunta ko doon na nakasimangot. Alangan naman papangit, di ba?
Even the Vice President said na hindi naman niya yon duty to listen. It is the duty of the President to report on whatever is going on in the state of the country in general. Pero sabi niya, ay hindi niya rin naman daw yun papakinggan.
Wala tayong batas. Wala tayong batas na nagsasabi tungkulin ng mga Pilipino ang makinig sa presidente. Ang nasa batas natin nakalagay, tungkulin ng presidente ang magbigay sa atin, mga Pilipino, kung ano yung estado ng ating bansa. Siya yung may tungkulin, tayo walang tungkulin, makinig. We have the rights to listen or to not listen. There is no law mandating us to listen to the president give his State of the Nation address.
Ngayon, hindi man lang yan na-mention yung online gambling, which a lot of people sa Senado has sounded alarms about. Kasama pa yung tariffs, yung mga budget insertions for the 2025 GAA na nasa tabi niya si Romualdez at si Escudero, di ba? And again, the across-the-board wage hike para sa ating mga minimum wage earners which should be also, again, across the board, meaning 200 pesos ang idadagdag sa lahat ng income, hindi lang sa minimum wage earners. Marcoleta, nasa Blue Ribbon. Kiko Bam, nasa Agrikultura at Edukasyon. Another Congress, another dollar, pero same shit, different day.
I, Francis Cheese G. Escudero, having been elected to the position of Senate President, do hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge, to the best of my ability, the duties of my present position and of all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines, that I will obey the laws, so help me God.
I, Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez, of the 1st District of the Province of Leyte, having been elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge, to the best of my ability, the duties of my present position and of all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Hindi nagbago ang liderato ng Kamara at Senado, with House Speaker Martin Romualdez being supported by 269 representatives with 34 abstentions or around 89% support, samantalang si Cheese Escudero ulit ang Senate President with 19% or 19 votes, while Soto, the minority leader or elected minority leader, get 5 votes. But you know, that's no surprise. Alam naman natin na Escudero got the majority of the votes, with House Speaker Martin Romualdez having a manifesto signed by most of the House of Representatives. Hindi na rin surprise yung mga ganyang grandstanding, overwhelming support from their respective chambers. Alam na natin yan. Alam na natin na for sure si Escudero at si Romualdez ang magiging respective leaders of their chamber. Even Bam and Kiko joining the majority has been known a long time ago. Iniwan nila si Risa para sa mayorya to get the appropriate committee chairmanships. Pero they reiterated na the only reason they did was because, again, of the committee chairmanship na kanilang inaasam na makuha for education at agrikultura, their flagship campaign promises.
The Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Pangilinan,
and I'd like to explain my vote after the voting. Please proceed. In the last 2025 elections, despite what critics said was a campaign headed for defeat, we defied the odds and pulled off a come-from-behind win and landed in the top 5. Starved of much-needed resources, our ragtag team of mostly volunteers fought tooth and nail, tao sa tao, mano a mano, house to house, SOCMED account by SOCMED account. It was a bruising, hard-fought victory, and we campaigned daily for over 6 months throughout the country under one banner: pababain ang presyo ng bigas at pagkain, palakasin ang hanay ng magsasaka, mangingisda at agrikultura. It is a banner I know well. For over 15 years now, I have carried it in the legislative branch. I carried it more forcefully in the executive department as Food Security Secretary, heading the critical agencies such as, and namely, National Food Authority, National Irrigation Administration, Philippine Coconut Authority, and the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. In a period of just 1 year during our stint, with the full backing of former President Aquino, we won a major battle for the Filipino people. Panalo ang kababayan natin dahil natigil natin ang pagtaas ng presyo ng bigas at napababa pa ito ng hanggang 3 piso kada kilo sa loob lamang ng 1 taon. From 2014 to 2015, we brought down rice inflation nationwide from 15% to 0.8%, running after smugglers, hoarders, cleansing the bureaucracy and corruption in the NFA rice supply management, among others, that led to a savings of 7 billion pesos of government rice imports. By September 2015, we effectively managed rice prices, and nationwide inflation was at its lowest in 20 years. It is in this context that my decision to align with the majority and with the support of the majority of our colleagues secure the chairmanship of the Senate Agriculture Committee. We are facing our nation is facing a food crisis. and high prices of food have led to unprecedented hunger incidents as well as unprecedented stunting among our children. I am not a political ally of the administration, but my 15 years experience in the agri and food sector, both in the legislative and executive branches, tells me that only if the executive and the legislative branches work together can we effectively bring down food prices and address hunger and food inflation. Nagawa na natin noon at kung magbigay ng buong suporta ang ating Pangulo, magagawa natin ulit ngayon.
Call it political trickery dahil politics is give and take. The art of the compromise.
Hold your nose and close your eyes. Wanna lead us to save the day. We don't get a say in what they trade away.
What is a bit of a surprise ay yung hindi pagtuloy ni Risa sa pagbuo ng kanyang sariling independent bloc, something she was thinking of doing last month, at noong may ugong-ugong na kukunin ng Duterte bloc ang minority by supporting either, I don't know really, Bongo or Amy Marcos, I'm not sure.
Well, gusto ko man, ngayon pa lang may bloke na ng mga kasama kong senador na mas marami na ang bilang. Mas marami sa isa at mas marami pa sa tatlo. So, tingnan na lang po natin paano mag-unfold yung pag-organisa ng Senado ng 20th Congress sa umaga ng 29th sa opening of session. At yun din yung mga scenarios na kinoconsider namin ni na Sen Kiko at Sen Bam. Mas realistic siguro na maging bahagi ng independent bloc. Oo. Given the numbers, kayo mismo, nabibilang nyo naman kami dito.
Now, one surprising thing ay ang announcement ng pagka-chairman ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta sa Blue Ribbon Committee. A committee you wouldn't want any partisan hack to head.
Newcomer Senator Marcoleta, no, who scored very strongly in the Senate race, but he's a newcomer, and I don't think historically a newcomer's ever been given the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. No? I mean, it doesn't mean he'll do a bad job, not at all, but it's a surprise to many that a newcomer is the chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, and some have said it was your way to essentially court and win over the Duterte bloc. What are your thoughts? How did that happen?
Senator Marcoleta is not a newcomer. In the Senate perhaps, but not in the House. Nakasama ko si Senator Marcoleta nung nasa Kamara pa lamang ako. So he's been in Congress for quite some time. He's a litigator, he's a practicing lawyer, and I think neophyte or not, he will do a good job as the Blue Ribbon Committee chairperson and raise the flag of the institution through his stewardship of this committee.
And Rodante Marcoleta has been anything but a partisan hack. Si Rodante Marcoleta ay isang neophyte senator na isa ring malaking ally ng mga Dutertes, even defending her noong merong confidential fund debacle.
Tinatanong kung bira naman na member sasagot. The question is addressed to the chair. Why would the members answer that?
They don't have the authority to speak.
Ano naman yung pinagsasabi mo?
Why the chairman?
You may not like the person. You may not like her presence here. But you have to respect the office of the Vice President. That is all. Because that is guided by the tradition. Kahapon po, kagaya po na sinabi nila, wala nang pinagtanong sa office of the President. And that is correct. That is in line with that tradition. Ngayon po, kung ang tinatanong ko ngayon, are we discarding the tradition? And is this committee authorized to discard a well-kept tradition? O kaya nga, then why are we intending to ask questions na naman at pinatawag nyo na naman kung sino-sino?
Now, he's vindictive, not one to shy away from the spotlight and what have you.
Sinong agency ng government ang nag-empower sa ating mga kababayan para malaman nilang complications ng West Philippine Sea? Isipin po natin, Sarah, there is nothing as West Philippine Sea. Wala po yun. That is a creation by us. Sa totoo lang po, kahit nabasahin mo yung ating mapa or what, there is no West Philippine Sea. Ang West Philippine Sea, yun po yung area na kiniklaim natin, ito yung exclusive economic zone. The complications of the West Philippine Sea has not been explained to our people. Kaya po, nagiging vulnerable tayong lahat eh. Ang sinasabi nila, inoccupy daw ng China ang ating territory. Sir, sa totoo lang po, if CICC and other agencies would cooperate with one another to empower our people, to educate them all, wala pong madideceive kahit ano pang gawin ng China. Kasi alam po na we are all claimants dito po sa panig ng South China Sea.
He headed the killing of ABS-CBN's franchise dahil sa mga bogus claims at trumped-up charges.
The violations, I think they were unable to unload the burden of proving to us that they are deserving to be granted anew with this special privilege. There are too many to be ignored. You are assuming that the franchise will be up to 2022. Paano kung meron ng binigyan ng gobyerno? Kanino ba bibigay yun? Anong franchise pa bibigay mo sa kanya? See? Yung franchise is a finite resource. Ina-allocate ng government yon. So, kunwari, meron ngayong magtatangka o makikiusap sa gobyerno, pwede po ba kaming mag-apply? Sabi niya ganun. At nakita naman natin na deserving naman, ano? At saka ngayon, siguro, this is an eye-opener siguro. Titingnan lahat yung... Ngayon lang naman nangyari talaga na binusisi lahat yung yung sections ng prangkisa. Dati kasi hindi masyadong tinitingnan yun. I'm not sure why. But I have to thank the Speaker, Alan Cayetano. Kasi siya naman ang nagbigay ng directive. Pinakamaganda siguro, sabi niya, na sige, busisiin na lang natin sa committee, balik ko na lang. You notice that he attempted to give ABS-CBN a provisional franchise. Ang nangyari lang kasi parang binaspas siya ng ABS-CBN o kaya ng mga kapanalig na para bang naging negative pa sa kanya yon. Kaya ang nangyari, sabi niya, o sige, gusto ko na nga tumulong sa inyo. Ganyan pa yung sinasabi ninyo sa akin. Ibalik natin sa committee. Ganun ang nangyari.
I won't cast doubt or dudungisan yung kanyang kakayahan to head that kind of agency. Ang sinasabi ko lang, dapat may prinsipyo ang taong nandoon sa seat na iyon because they have a lot of power. Ang aking worry is gagawin itong kangaroo court o kaya na may political circus for the Dutertes and their allies. Yung kanyang worrying demagoguery at unfledging alliance to the flag of Davao rulers.
Isa pa po siguro ang, ayaw ko lang, kung gusto niyo pong sagutin itong punto na ito, kasi doon sa tagpo ng matapos magsalita ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, aba naman paglabas ng pinto ng plenaryo, kayo po ang nabungaran ang sabi pa naman doon sa mga balita at yung kasama niyo po sa senador, yun daw pong Duterte Black, kasama daw po kayo doon daw, ay hindi pupunta doon sa zona ng Pangulo. Pero ano daw ba nangyari? Ba't nandun kayo? Mukhang ang Pangulong Bongbong pa po ay yumakap ata sa inyo at mukhang nag-abrisete pa sa inyo, Sen. Ano ba talaga nangyari?
Sino ba yung nagsabi na ang Duterte Black ay hindi pupunta? Wala akong alam doon.
Ang sabi ni Senadora Amy, nagsalita ata, iba pang mga miyembro po ng Duterte Black. Una, Sen, kayo ba kinukonsidera nyo yung sarili na miyembro kayo ng Duterte Black?
Hindi ako PDP laban
Ayun,
alam nyo naman na nung nangampanya ako, maski na nung 2022, adapted lang ako.
Yun, opo.
Kaya hindi ko alam kung bakit nila sinasabing Duterte Black ako.
Opo.
Napagkakamalang kasi tayo na Duterte Black. Kasi nga, nilalaban naman natin ang mga karapatan kahit sino. Nagkataon lang na ang karapatan naman ng mga Duterte, kailangan din nating ibigay yung due process para sa kanila. Napagkakamalan tayo na meron tayong kinikilingan. Hindi.
Isama mo pa si Camille Villar sa Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change. Something to do with, anyong lupa. and basically elemental change and weather and stuff like that from the family that allegedly does land grabbing farms like it's nobody's business, only theirs, because it's a monopoly. So what can we do about these personally objectionable assignment? And I said that it's my opinion, which is we can't really do anything about it. Hindi naman natin mahiwalay ang politika at ang kanilang interest, because that's exactly why they won, because they have that interest, they have that business, they have that monopoly on power at capital. They won because they have the political machinery, because of said wealth. And I don't know if fair or square, pero they won. Besides, they all gotta have chairmanships, right? And the best thing we could do, and the best thing we could hope, is for them to do their goddamn job. At yan, magterbosing News and Worthy Recap Weekly Edition for roughly the 5th and first week of July 2025. Most issues and more topics na requires the balita sa Ifrifil Amber Swana and MWNV. Salamat sa mga naman warm live, subscribe, follow me links sa socials, and avoid Joseph the Will Blair Tao Law. Susunod muli, of course. Paalam. 1, 2, wait, stop. 1, 4. 1, 2, 3.